Good morning. My name is Serena. I'm currently Head of Product Management at CLP Innovation. Today, I'm going to share with you more about how to achieve carbon reduction through innovation. So there will be 4 key takeaways. The first one is the digitalization. How important is it in our innovation journey? The second one, we will actually focus on what matters in your low carbon journey. The third topic, we'll talk about how we are doing it at CLP Innovation. And the fourth one, we will be briefly introducing some products that might be relevant to you. So let's look at the role of digitalization in the future-proof building. I find out that, there actually are about 6 stages that we can, go through in the digitalization journey. So the first one would be rigid. So it's like, your organization is not ready for innovation or digitalization. And then the second one would be experimental. So you are trying some experience or experiment within the organization, but innovation or digitalization is not a great topic. The third one would be really intentional. So you intend to do something, you might have task force. The fourth stage would be strategic. So, you have a particular innovation team within each department. Each department is trying to do something about it. The fifth stage would be dedicated. So like us at CLP Innovation, actually we have a dedicated innovation team to be you're looking into different solutions in the market. And the last stage would be fluidity. Hopefully we will be achieving fluidity in the future, which is innovation and digitalization in every corner of your company. Now, let's look into where you are, because before we go into the low carbon journey, digitalization is so essential, and if we're not ready for it, then it will be hard to achieve low carbon. So what you have to do is you can scan this QR code, or you go to inte.com and then type the use code 23607014, and then you will be able to join an online survey. So, this is more like interactive session. I know you're on this other side of the screen. We really want to engage you and see how you are doing with your innovation journey and where you are. So just to remind you, there are a few stages like rigid, experimental, intentional, strategic, dedicated, and fluidity. I think they're quite self-explanatory, So let's see how's the voting going. So let's get interactive. Okay, so a lot of companies said they're intentional. There are some experiments. Some company thinks they're rigid. Quite a few on strategic, but nobody's is actually in dedicated stage yet, just like us. Okay, thank you. So that's a very interesting insight. I think a lot of companies are just trying to experience or experiment innovation, but you don't know what digitalization is playing as a role within your company. And this is why we have to talk about it today. So you have to be aware of it first. Otherwise, it's hard to get digitalized, and you'll just be experimenting all the time. So, what is required for the future of buildings? So lately, we have been interviewing with a lot of industry leaders in food and beverage industry, logistics, building owners. What we find as a common topic that everybody talks about would be predictive maintenance. So people want to rely less on human interference. People want to understand how are their machines and the building, performing, and how it will be failing in the future, so that they want to predict, and maintain the building better. The other topic which is very interesting would be mobile first too. Our workforce is aging in Hong Kong. More and more we want to rely on our mobile phone, but how can we just get away from, WhatsApp communication within our building with the building managers? How can we rely on a centralized and consolidated system so that our building will become smarter? How can we achieve automation? And one very interesting topic as well would be the prediction of the end of life cycle of your machines, so that you really just replace your machine as needed and you don't need to throw them away or replace them when it's the wrong time. So that's the top view for management. That's what the management wants. But then what about the modern building managers? If you look into the modern building managers, we still find out the user actually have three main problems. The first one is there are a lot of sensors, a lot of technology being introduced in the market. So which one is good for you? The second one, of course, in every project that we have in any company, what's the ROI? The third one, which I find quite interesting, it's a lot of customers was telling us, we do care about the environment, we think energy consumption is important, but compared to all other factors in our company, including like our fuel consumption or maybe shopping mall traffic, energy always come last. So how can we change the scene? This is why we have created Smart Energy Connect. If you look into the past of buildings, HVAC, which is the most important equipment within your building, this technology itself actually haven't really changed in the past 30 years. As it has been stable, the reliability and the efficiency might have been advancing, but actually the main technology wasn't really changing. So what about the future? How can we connect our current building, which is not the smartest one, into a future-proof building? How can we do that? If we look into the market, what is important, it's, you might have different solutions. You might be starting to introduce one or two or three solutions into your building. But how can you integrate them together? Because too many of system isn't really solving our problem. We have too many dashboards to look at all days, right? Exactly this is why we have created Smart Energy Connect. So Smart Energy Connect actually is the all-integrated marketplace for you, for our enterprise customer, to find the right energy solution and to manage your resources. We understand that our customers don't just want to look into how they can become more energy efficient, but also how they can improve their resource organization and arrangement. So at clpsec.com, if you just scan the QR code, you'll be seeing, there are sustainability and energy-related solutions. That's, of course, the theme. And then we also have wellness, connectivity, and productivity-related solutions. But how do we know, actually, the solutions are right for you? So at CLPSEC, actually, we look at different solutions every day. We will be doing a three-stage screening. So the first stage, we'll be looking into the brand owner or the startup company's potential. So what's the scalability and what's the survival rate as well for the startup or for the small, medium-sized company? And then the second stage, we'll be looking into the business case. Where in Hong Kong can we put this technology? Who needs it? And the third stage, we actually will be looking into the actual demo and the actual reference check of the company. So are they any good in the existing market? How can we bring them to Hong Kong? And constantly we'll evaluate them through Keynote models so we have a map and understand where the products are. So interestingly, people always ask, are you sure this is the best solution? To me, there is no best solution, but really the right solution. How can we identify they're right? It is because the whole process that we are screening the product will lead to a right choice. So if you look into each month, we screen over 100 startups or like different brands. And then we have a chat with our sales to understand what is needed in the market and also mapping them back to our customer problem statement. So we make sure that there are somebody who need this product. But what really differentiates CLP SEC, it's actually the trial. Because we have the resources to trial all these different technologies, be it IoT or like AI technology in CLP buildings, as well as partnering with our customers to trial at their building, so that we will be knowing if that particular product is really delivering its promise. So after all this trial, we'll be putting it into the market, repackage it, and then sell it into the market. So Smart Energy Connect, actually we have different solutions. It might be a little bit confusing, but really these solutions can be grouped into 4 categories. The first category would be on the top left, which is HVAC related. Second category would be on the top right, which is RE, like solar and lighting related. Third category would be in the bottom right, which is space and asset management. So how can we optimize our space and also optimize our asset? The fourth one would be electrical. So it could be, submetering, which is to understand how you spend your energy, as well as energy benchmarking. So now, you might be considering, okay, I want to do digitalization. I might want a few, different solutions. But how do I start? How do I go about it? So next session will be about focus on what matters. If you are considering to, implement some technology, I would say let's start with the bottom layer. As you can see on this graph, actually, I've categorized, your building technology into 3 areas. The first one would be chiller optimization. So before looking into anything else, I think it's really worth looking into how you can optimize your chiller. It can be through HVAC automation, so you automate your whole HVAC system and focus on energy saving, because typically your building management system is just focusing on, running your building. It's just like your legs and the arms. But then it really doesn't give your building management system a brain, so that by automating your HVAC, it will be thinking about energy saving all day, and then by this logic, it will help you to save energy. Apart from that, you can also consider chiller monitoring, such as, is the sensors actually, up to date? Are they calibrated? So if they're not calibrated, how can we make sure that your HVAC is performing at its best? The third one that you can be looking into would be the device monitoring. So are the particular pump working fine? Would they be failing soon? So this is the bottom layer. So now you might have done automation. The next stage, what do? You have to look into your building health as a whole. So that means actually it's just like having a doctor or like a smartwatch monitoring your whole building system 24/7. So for example, I'll be talking a little bit about one of our product called Building Scope that monitors your whole BMS, all the data points to be integrated in one place, and it predicts when will things be failing. So through this technology, we will actually be able to know if your system is reliable and how you can save money and time. So once you have done chiller optimization and building health monitoring, then what's next? You have to look into your office or your campus, or basically the comfort level of the user. So it could be, like comfort side optimization with our technologies, or you can considering doing submetering so that it breaks down your energy consumption level and you understand what's happening to your energy consumption. So these are the 3 steps where you can, where you can deploy different technologies to help your buildings to become smarter. But our role here at CLP really is to integrate all these different data into one platform or into one tool that is easier for you to use, so that you don't need to constantly open 10 different solutions and look at, different things at your building and don't know what's happening. We will help you to make sense out of your data. Just a little story of, our products. I remember when I first joined CLP 2.5 years ago, we only have one product, which is called Building Scope. So Building Scope is a cloud solution. It's an AI-driven technology that uses the energy footprint of all your building management system data. So if the energy footprint fluctuates, adding all the ambient temperature and different dynamic data from your BMS and your external environment, it will be determining if there is a problem with a particular device. And if you don't fix it, how much money will you be wasting? So we only had one product. But then I think 2.5 years ago, people weren't really ready for cloud solution. Gradually the market is adapting it, and then people are starting to ask about, so what about on-premise solution? This is how we actually find products. We constantly listen to our customer. And then now, apart from, just cloud monitoring of your BMS, we also have a solution called Plant Pro. This is an on-premise solution. It's an edge computing that constantly get all your BMS data and control your BMS so that it actually will be optimizing the energy consumption of your BMS, of your HVAC on the plant side only. So we have all these different kind of solutions, whether you're just looking into, I want cloud, more AI-driven, or I would be looking into more machine learning, but on-premise products. We can suit all your different needs. So now you might have, different solutions installed, and then you might be having some energy saving programs that you're running. So what's next? So actually today I'm very proud to be introducing SEC Building Portfolio to you. So why do you need a portfolio view? Because you have so many buildings, you have so many energy saving projects, but you don't have one place to understand your ROI. You remember we have one of the slides saying ROI is very important? So building portfolio actually is using an international protocol called IPMVP. So it actually does measurement and verification of your energy project. So you can imagine you'll be having a baseline energy that we create for you. So for this protocol, actually we do not measure your saving. We measure what? We do measure your energy use. So based on your energy use, we analyze what will be your energy saving. So we come up with a baseline. The baseline is dynamic. You know, it's not like last year we spent 1 million. That is our baseline. The baseline will be changing. And why do we need that? Remember, again, we do not measure your saving. We measure your energy use. So why is it needed? Imagine your shopping mall or your building would have different routines or non-routines events happening. So it could be, you know, the routine things like this year working days compared to last year's working days, this year's season compared to last year's seasons, and then the ambient temperature. These are the routine adjustment that we will be doing to your baseline. So we will adjust based on, you know, this year and last year, and then we will compare, you know, we'll adjust it before we give you a baseline. And also, the second thing is, you know, we will be looking into non-routine events. So let's say your shopping mall will be hosting a concert, which doesn't happen now, but, you know, let's say it does have a concert, you know, for 10 nights, and then for these 10 nights, you need to run for extra hours. These are non-routine adjustments. So imagine looking into the chart. You know, there's a baseline, it's pretty fixed, and then it looks, compared to actual, it looks like you spend a lot of energy. But after we have all these adjustments, then you know your energy, it's comparable again. So with that, with CLP building portfolio, as you can see on the graph, the blue line is your actual energy prediction. So we're predicting how much energy you're saving. That is your saving baseline. And comparing with that, how much energy are you actually consuming? So the green bar and the red bar. If you achieve your energy saving, it will be green. If you don't achieve, it will be red. And most importantly, building portfolio, don't just track your energy consumption project. Electricity. It can be water, it can be biofuel. As far as you have the data point, we'll be able to track it all in one place. So what's next? If you look into, you know, now I have IPMVP, I track my projects, I have technology, what to do next? What I want to show you here is no matter what you are trying to do, it could be, you know, I think I have data, I think I have a fancy system, I manage everything really well. All you have to do, all you need to start to think about now, it's your MNV, your measurement and verification, and we can help you with that. So just to summarize, you know, you might be having some RE projects, you know, like renewable energy projects happening to, you know, make your building greener. You might be having some energy efficiency technology to help you improve your energy consumption. If after doing all these, you can't be achieving, you know, or reducing your carbon emission, then you might consider offsetting your carbon with, you know, carbon credits. So these are the options, but, you know, what really is at the heart of the future green building after you offset, after you have different technology, after you have digitalization? What's next? The most important thing, I think, from what I see in the market is change management. Sadly, the industry is getting old and people are resistant to change. So if we don't think about change today, we can't change tomorrow. So what I want to call to action today is we would like to introduce you to the CLP Innovation InnoTech Hub. So what happened is this is more like a backbone of all different alliances. If your building would like to go green and you don't know how to, join our innovation think tank. So with this, actually, we'll be able to provide you with different products that you can trial. We'll be exchanging information on the latest technology, and hopefully, we can all go green and be sustainable together, and we'll be enabling you in your journey. Thank you for listening to me. If you have questions, you can contact us.
Thank you, Serena. And before we move on to the Q&A section, just a gentle reminder, if you have any more questions that you would like to ask Serena, feel free to click the question mark icon on the top right corner of your screen. Select Q&A sections, type your questions inside message box. Remember to click the start chat to submit your questions. So now let me start with some questions for Serena. Is there any criteria to run the measurement and verification for projects?
Yes, I think the only criteria really is to start to get some data points. It can be your previous energy consumption. If it's a new building, you have to make sure that you are starting to collect some data. But it really doesn't matter. Even if it's a new building, we can there is 4 different methods within the IPMVP framework, and we can use different methods to manage your energy baseline. So it really doesn't matter. But I think you have to have the mindset of, oh, I want to be tracking my energy. So there might be some metering, or at least you have the meter data or past data, any sort of data but you need to think of I have to start collecting them.
So need to have some data point is important for this process.
Yes.
But we have some audience would like to know, what is the typical ROI for SEC smart building projects?
So it can range from, as short as 1 year up to 3 years, depends on, your current energy consumption. Or I think very often, for example, customer, they have to change certain device to achieve greater energy. And that's not part of the energy technology that we're deploying, right? This is just like the building need to be upgraded. So it depends. But I think 1 to 3 years is pretty reasonable.
Sure, thank you, Serena. And the next question is, have you considered the effects of buildings, roof or walls for energy saving? For example, the green roof can be really helpful for the indoor temperature reduction. And regarding this, building the roofs or walls for energy saving, how do you actually evaluate the effect too?
Yes, actually, Smart Energy Connect is focusing more on smart technology. So instead of building material change, I think material breakthrough does play a very important role. But material breakthrough, or setting up a green rooftop or something like that, it has to be done with early planning. While with Smart Energy Connect technology, it can be retrofit. So you don't need to plan 10 years ahead before I start to, build my building. I need to think about, a green roof, or insulation, better insulation, or it could be, a lot of technology in the market are looking into the paint that we use. How can we provide better, insulation through paints and, outer material and things like that. Those are very long term. But I think, Smart Energy Connect product, you can think a little bit more immediate effect. How can we use technology to create immediate effect?
Great. Serena, one last question from the audience is, do you have any solution deployment case study that you can share with us?
Yes. In fact, today afternoon, we will be having 2 of our partners to share some cases. So, for example, Building Scope, we mentioned just then in our presentation. It is about AI, predictive maintenance, and we are applying in Hong Kong Airport, for example. So we have different case study that we can further share with all the audience. But I think we'll cover it in details in the afternoon. So do come back.
Great. Thank you. Thank you once again, Serena, for the fantastic sharing.
Thank you.
And do look forward to our afternoon sharing section.
Okay, thank you.